Welcome back to another episode of JCS Projects. On this one, we're gonna keep going on the dump truck. We drove it last time, got brakes on it, and found out the clutch is trashed. You put it in second gear and try to accelerate, it just completely slips the clutch and does not move the truck. So we're not addressing the clutch in this one, but that will be a future episode of just doing the clutch in it. This one, we are gonna try to get it to where I can fit better in the truck. So instead of dieting, I'm just gonna go ahead and move all the pieces inside the truck to make it fit me. So I'm gonna try something with a steering column. I've been looking at places where you can actually try to collapse the column a little bit since it does have a slip joint in it. Maybe we can collapse the column and remount it to get another inch or two. We're gonna take the bench seat out of it and put a couple buckets that I think are from a Blazer or a Suburban. I really don't know. They were in the orange truck when I got it. Put those in there to try to get it back as far as possible, just to give everything a little bit here, a little bit there. That's what we're doing on this episode. Let's get to working. Well, we started to pull the interior out of it, and I decided this door is totally trashed. I mean, they're not the greatest on the outside either. They're rusty. But if you look down in there, you can see it's not just the hinge that's messed up. I mean, the whole door is just totally caved in and rotted. We're gonna yank the doors off this thing and see what doors I have. That'll just help us get more space to pull all this off, but we're gonna put whatever good doors I have on this instead of just messing with these and working around these. Unfortunately, a lot of the doors I have don't have glass in them, so we'll probably have to move some regulators and stuff over, but once we have the doors off, we can figure out which ones we wanna use. I'd leave that one in until last. Just don't break the glass, that's all I really care. I bet it's gonna fall. It's gonna go. Oh yeah. That hinge is in great shape. I think that hinge might have seen its last days, and that door is torn all over. I bet you this thing got caught and pulled out. Pulled the door. We can get up in there, take off this side of the hinge. Try to find some that have good bushings or fix the bushings that are in it. You know.
Gone.
Yeah. This poor old truck. It's just rusted to the door now.
There we go.
Wow.
This one's been worked out.
Yeah, that one's in bad shape. The door's in a lot better shape than the other side, but the hinge is trash. But we've got hinges, we got doors, we've got everything. We'll just yank it all off and see what we can come up with to make this a little bit better. Both the doors, you can see right where it tore, and then this one torn down in there, and it broke off 2 bolts in the door, so no big deal. How do these come out? Bolt there. Rusty as hell. I don't think I've even pulled this forward. Well, there's seatbelts still in it. Seat is loose, so I'm just gonna kind of push on it and he's gonna just drag it with no doors. Okay. Ooh, hey, I won't push on that part. There we go. There we go. Bungees. Hey, a shovel. Wow. This thing's disgusting. He definitely was a plumber. That's for sure. But got all the seat belts. All right, well, let's get the vacuum cleaner and get this cleaned out and we can see what it really looks like. little bit of ventilation back here as well. Cab's not really attached to the floorboard back here. So you just put that back over it and you don't worry about it. She does have some pretty good holes in the floor. We will just find something to cover that up, or honestly absolutely ignore it and just drive the truck. But that side's pretty bad. There's actually the cab support's totally rotted through on that side. This side's still kind of attached, but over there it's totally rotted through. But it's all cleaned out, so now I can grab one of the seats and see how it's gonna set in here and see if any of the bolt holes line up. I know there won't be any bolt holes on the inside that line up. The bench seats don't have any bolt holes on the inside, but we still might get some to line up out here. And then I think I will start addressing the steering column, because if I can get this whole thing to slide in to about here, that would give me so much more room in the cab. Because I'd like to keep the factory steering wheel. I don't want to have to put one of those small little bitty 13-inch chain steering wheels or something on this thing, just so I can drive it. We'll figure out what we got to do. So Andrew pulled out the cables. Well, that one.
Yeah, it moves.
Is that the...
This is the PTO.
That's the PTO cable? So it actually
This
moves.
is the bed up down.
Barely moves.
But it got smashed where it was being
Oh,
held.
yeah. I've got 2 of these cables. We are going to move them up higher into a much more comfortable position once we get the interior in. And they're the ones that come with their hoists from work. So we don't always use these because we use air and other things to control them, but they're at least 10, 15 feet long. We do need longer ones, and I know one of them we're gonna have to pretty much run back through the hole that it came out of because of the PTO has to pull in that direction. Got lots to figure out, but we have new cables for making this bed work and actually work where I can reach them, because this, honestly, putting them right here and that hole with the seat hanging over them, even for a small skinny person, is still a really dumb place to put them. It's simple, I guess, but not in a good user-friendly position. Let's grab one of the seats and see what it looks like.
Well, let's see if Cody can fit in here with bucket seats. You know, just fat guy in a little truck.
It is all the way, it is back further, but not a huge gap there. If I had the tilt column out of the other truck, it'd be perfect.
That's already easier.
Already way better. That's drivable, even without moving the steering wheel.
Yeah, because you were up on the steering wheel before.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's totally drivable. If we can mount this exactly here.
And it fits, like you're not rocking.
No, this
like
side fits nice. This side sits weird, but there's a lot more deadening, sound deadening on this side. And so it's not sitting down as nice, but I think we can clean it up and then mark the holes and just drill new holes. It doesn't line up with any hole.
Yeah.
But this little stanchion is perfect for this. No, this works, even if we can't move and do anything with the column. This will allow me to drive this truck. And then we can build a center console out of some square tubing and some steel we got around here. And then we're gonna put the handles right here for the PTO and the bed controls. I mean, we could always do it back here. Don't have to have it forward.
Yeah, it's all up.
Because I would like cup holders. Because cup holders are important.
You could put them back and we could make new holes if we need to, because that would give us more room
To go this way.
Yeah, both ways actually, because we'd be more centered to everything.
To everything? Okay. We'll find out which is the best way to do it, but this gives us lots of options. This is pretty good. So we pulled out all the matting, and now we have the seats sitting down in here. I think these are seats out of a Suburban because they don't tilt. And if they were seats in a Blazer, I would assume they would be able to tilt forward. Since they don't, I think these are out of a Suburban, but they fit really nice. We just have to drill for it. Drill a hole here, mark it and drill here. And then on the inside, you got the one long leg that sits down in this little recessed area. And we just gotta mark and drill it. Oh. Get in there.
Get in there. Get on, get. Okay. Okay. Off.
We ran into a slight issue that we didn't really think about when we first started doing this, is there are 2 fuel tanks directly underneath there. So there's nothing in the way of these 2 holes. They fit perfect on the inside. We can put nuts and bolts on this. The outside here sit right above the fuel tank. We have enough room to put a nut and bolt, but to get to it, we'd have to drop the fuel tank down. Instead of that, we're gonna bring back nut certs, and we're gonna put nut certs in here. They're kind of like a rivet, so you can put a nut in the middle of it, or a bolt in the middle of it, and it'll hold without having to have anything on the back side. The seat belts in this are bolted straight to the floor, not the seat. With nut certs, I'm not concerned about safety. Anybody driving this is not concerned with safety in any way, shape, or form. But the seat belts will still be bolted to the floor in the factory locations. So nut certs it is on the outside, and we don't have to worry about dropping the tanks or doing any extra work like that, and they'll hold great. But we have everything located, so we're gonna bolt these 2 inside ones in, and then we can start our cables in, and maybe an idea of a little center console thing, and have the seats mounted. We're getting there. So this is gonna be our upright. So this will probably sit like that. With this pretty much like that. And that is how we're gonna hold this together. And then I can put cup holders or something off of it. Does it fit on the inside? Yeah, it does. One thing these trucks lack severely is any place to put your frickin' drink. I wanted to build a whole big like center console thing so I can put an armrest and everything on it. But the more I started doing it, the more I realized there's no place to set anything down inside this. So if I fill this whole center part up with a center console, I'm not going to make it fancy enough that it would have a lid to open up and you can put stuff inside. We're just going to make a tower. We'll have the floorboard, and you'll still be able to reach behind the seats to put some stuff back there if you need to put anything back there, you know, like your shotgun or whatever else you carry to the scrap yard, because, well, that place kind of sucks sometimes.
That's better. This should be 2-inch strap, so we should be 1 inch.
There you go. Perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. My floor is wobbly. That way. It fought me the last time.
So then down position, you want it like that. So pulling it engages it. Yep, because I'm hitting.
Yeah, because when you pulled up on it, it would engage it.
Yep. I'm just gonna cut it right back there. Yeah, just shoot. Mitch, give me. Really? I didn't. Oh, I didn't cut through one. I didn't cut through a bunch of it.
Hey, there's our new tower. It's a little wobbly side to side, but I mean, it's not bad. I may have to brace up the floor. The floor is just sheet metal. There's nothing backing it right there. So both down, PTO is going to be disengaged with this one, and the bed's going to be in the down position with this. To lift it, you would just pull up, and that should start dumping. But there's like 3 positions. This bed is not a power down bed, it's just gravity down. So it uses the weight of the bed or the load or whatever it is. I don't know, I like this. Like I said, I'll have to brace it or do something. But it's simple, it's user friendly. It uses the same holes that the cables originally were in. But from back here, it just swoops forward down into those holes. So we didn't have to drill any extra holes in the floor. And it puts the cables in the position where we know they work because, well, it's been operating this way for 35, well, it's a 75, so 50 years almost. Wow. These old trucks, you used to talk about them only being 20, 30 years old, but they're getting old now. They are a workhorse. They've been around a long time. So I walk out here, and I ask somebody to wait for me.
You're taking too long. It's almost bedtime. You can't take this long and expect me to wait.
Oh, what does the camera look like? Looking at a camera. I should not be allowed to buy things.
I know.
Good into a night. Sitting out here by the fire. Shameless merch plug here. Get yourself some shirts or some hats and some stickers at jcsprojectsmerch.com. Anything helps. Helps with doing any of this stuff. It's awesome. I really like them. They're comfortable shirts, real nice. I've been wearing the crap out of them. They're pretty much what I wear every day now. Get some hats, get some shirts. We are back out here again today. Last night, ended the night with a nice fire. Great way to end the night. Andrew and I got the dump bed working on the truck. He did a lot of it. Most of it, because I don't fit very well underneath, and he's done a whole bunch of the PTO cables that work. It's got the seats in it. Today we're going to clean the seats up, and I'm going to try to figure out what to do with the column. I have an idea, and I'll explain it as I go. I've got an extra column out of the orange truck because I put a tilt column in it. So I'm going to take it and see what I can come up with on shortening it and getting a little bit extra room, because with this pushed back, and if this goes forward even an inch, it'll help me out a whole lot for space and room inside the truck. Take this off. All I'm wanting to do is take this and move it up to there. Bolt it here. Just that move moves it 2 inches in. All I gotta get is everything else to move with it. Mounting is gonna be easy, I believe. Do I wanna cut that? I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. For me, this modification for every single truck would be awesome. And if I could scoot this forward and I cut this all off, maybe I can just move that back here and still bolt it in. Let's go there and there. Take this all off. Maybe a little bit extra, because that is not woo, that is not straight by any stretch. That is going to be crooked as crooked can be, but it's going to work, I promise. Will this work? It's a wood saw. So if that's all cut off, that may sit right down on there. I want to cut this right in that, something like that. And then we'll see how close that gets me. Woo! Okay, let's put the vise a little tighter. Ugh. Let's go to this. If not, I'm gonna get out the plasma cutter. Safety glasses. There we go. Come on. There we go. Finally, got that off. Now it's time for a nap. Scoot this forward now. So this being bolted here, it's bolted here, and turn pushing the column in further. And then, can I take this? I can. And then I can weld that back to there, grind this down a little bit, let it sit down flush, and it'll mount in all 4 locations just fine. Then I bet you I can even take and put this back, and that'll be just like it was factory, just down. And then as long as everything else works, that's gonna work perfect. Okay, well, if my cuts were straight, it'd be perfect. I ground all this up, cleaned this up, makes it look a little bit better because this is professional. We have a high-end shop here. These brackets go from here up to here. Everything still bolts on and tight. This bracket, which would sit here, still goes on like normal. So that's gonna move the column down. My next question on getting this going is how much movement I get here. Once I drill these plastic pieces out, which hold the slip joint in, how much movement do I get out of this? If I get the proper amount of movement, then I think it'll just slide and work. I'll be able to push the column into the dash further, and that's it. I'd have to loosen that bracket, and I'll show you that one out there, but I think I could just shove the column down and bolt the bracket on up there. So let's drill these out and see what they look like. Okay, so plastic doesn't go all the way through. Let's drill this side. Found a persuasion device. Just that soft hitting does not move it. There's the plastic I was looking for. Kind of like a U-joint. Starts to ooze out when it gets hot enough. Let's see if this one will do it. Yep, there it goes. It's like those snakes on 4th of July. What happens when I hit it now? Slides right up. You guys see that fireball? So that plastic's there just to hold it. And when you get in a crash and if it does need to collapse, that plastic will break. If I hit it hard enough, it probably would have started to slide. But that plastic will break and then it'll slide so it doesn't impale you, in theory. Oh yeah. And it's still super tight. It's not like I'm losing anything. So if we just heat that up, get that to move, I'll be able to shove that column in really far. I think this is gonna work. These 2 bolts right there, if I loosen those up, that should release the column down here. 2 mounting points inside the dash, I can bolt it in, then I'll slide it down. Now if I can get this to collapse on here, it'll just shove down in, and I'll have plenty of room to move the steering column down. Let me see if this has... Yeah, there they are. So there's the plastic in, but I think if I just heat those up or drill them like I did, and then I'll heat them up until the plastic comes out of it, and if it's loose, I should just be able to push on the column to get it to go down. I'm gonna do the same thing I did over there, even though this may not be necessary. Okay. Oh, that's burned out of it. Let's see if it's enough. If not, we'll do some more. Let's go inside and take the inside apart. Take this off. Aha, wood screws. That's what they're all supposed to be put together with. Oh, how about I show you what I'm actually doing? Okay, well that's supposed to have more screws up underneath there, but it doesn't. Ugh. Hello? Hello? Ugh. Okay, we'll just move that over there for now. What do we have underneath here? Well, there might be a few other potential issues. Let's get a flashlight. Take a look and see what we got going on under here. So let's start back here at the back. This is that plate that's on the bottom of that other column. And then there's the rubber seal. Those right there are those little flared out portions to stop it from being able to go pass through this seal. So I'm probably gonna end up spraying some penetrating lube on this just to get this all to be slippery. So once I get these bolts loose up here and that flange loose, I might just be able to push it and it might pop right past these, but they're kind of designed not to allow that to happen. So we may have to pull it up, but I don't know. We'll figure out what that happens when I start pushing on this thing. This is the part that I modified. This right here, and the nose bolt to the bottom of the dashboard right here. So I should just be able to take these two off, take these four off, and this pop off. The column will fall down, but that's okay. The only thing that I see that might be a problem is there's the brake pedal and the brake pedal switch. If this slides down 2 inches, that's gonna put this connector right up against the side of the brake pedal. Now we might be able to do some finagling. I may be able to push this up out of this because all this is loose. So we'll see what it looks like when I drop it down, but we might have to do some finagling to get this to go down 2 inches. But I think it's gonna work. I think this will slide down. So let's pop this off and see what everything looks like. Now I need to take those bolts loose. Let me take the tops off right here. Just these top screws right there. All right. Oh, hey. See how far that slid? See that new metal sticking out of that? Yeah. I shove this down now. Oh, something just happened. So now this connector is hitting right where I thought. It's hitting the brake pedal. So I either pop that out and move it up, but let's see if it bolts, if I can get this to bolt back up in there. Yeah, let's go get the other piece. So we got a new piece. I'm going to fish this up in here. You know, big guys, even with all this stuff out of the way, I still don't fit in here all that great. Mother pearl. All right, we're close, but I'm gonna have to get that lower part to pivot down. It's pushing it up out of the way. That's clearing though. That's all clearing. I can't shove the column far enough down for my holes here to line up with the bolt hole spots on the column. So no matter what, I'm gonna have to do something to this bracket to actually make it bolt on. But my bigger issue for me is this can still bolt in. This is still stuff for wiring in the column, but I can still plug those together and tie them up out of here, out of the way. The worst issue is the actual ignition switch, not the tumbler, but the switch that's mounted to the top of the column. It, as you can see, is getting hit by the brake pedal. So if I shove it in any further, it's going to rub the brake pedal. Well, that pink wire is an ignition wire, so it's eventually going to rub through, short out onto the brake pedal, and cause major problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wrap a zip tie around the entire column and tie those up so they are flatter like that. So they go flat against the side of the column, and then it won't rub that anymore. And then I'm going to have to drill a hole here and here and here just so I can put the bolts in up here. That's still going to give me probably 1 3/4 inches more room, which is going to, with the seat combination, going to give me plenty of room in this truck. So I'm going to drill those, pull this bracket back out, drill those holes, and then zip tie that. And then I can plug this in and bolt it all in. But everything else, it actually slid in real nice. That slid up there. I mean, it really does fit pretty well. I don't feel like drilling any holes, so I'm going to make a big mess. We are back out here again, another day, to finish this up. As you can see, you park in some terrible neighborhoods. They just take everything, man. You can't be safe anywhere. Don't trust anything. Don't trust anything. In a weird coincidence, they returned all my tires and wheels with new tires on them. We finally have new sets of tires put back on this thing. We are going to finish getting the steering column mounted. We're gonna finish that. I'm just gonna clean up these edges a little bit from where I used the plasma cutter to slag it out. I just need to make sure these all fit nice in there. Alright, so just egg-shaped the holes so the column can slide a little bit, and hopefully it will actually get down in here. And I can bolt it up with all 4 holes. So let's go fit it up in the truck and see how it fits. So I got her bolted up in. Let's see what this looks like down in here. That looks pretty good. That's out of the way. My zip tie right here keeps my other wiring out of the way, but I got all 4 of my bolts in and they're bolted in up top. This was way up here. This gauge was actually sitting on this part of the column back here. Now, that's as close as the gauge can get. We moved a solid 1.5 inches. That's gonna give me and anybody else that tries to do this quite a bit more room. If you have an automatic, this might change some of your linkage geometry down for your shifter, and also there's I think another switch down on the bottom of the column, which I think is the neutral safety switch. You might have to do some extra work in, but I don't know how much it's going to change. Everything might have enough movement where it'll work until I get an automatic in here, but otherwise it worked. So I'm going to get this buttoned up and then I'll show you finishing my seat base by putting the nut zerts in. I got my tool. The M-Quali. Everybody knows what an M-Quali is. That's the brand of it. Good old Amazon purchase. We'll see how that works out. We've had pretty good luck with Amazon stuff, but this right here is nut zert tool with some zerts. We'll get that all in and see if we can get the seats actually bolted down. Done. So if you haven't ever seen one of these things, they work pretty sweet. So they're like a rivet that lets you bolt it in. When I say that, they give you these little anvils, I guess you'd call them, and you change the end. And they come with all different sizes, standard, metric. I guess I'm missing one, or it didn't come with it. I don't know. It's not in the box. But this one is a 3/8 by 16, which is the size of bolt I have, which uses these inserts. You drill a hole big enough for this insert to go into, and then thread this on here. And as you close these handles, it pulls on the threaded portion and bends this. Well, seeing as this knurled right there, that grips the sheet metal, or I think up to probably an 1/8 inch thick. You probably still get it in there. It bends this and collapses this whole top, and it gives you a nice threaded hole to go on without having to put a knot on the backside. But you have to drill a hole big enough for this part to slide down in. And then once it slides in the hole, then you just crimp it. I'll show you with the 2 holes that I know are in the right spot. I'll get them to the right size here in a second. And then we'll crimp these in here and then re-drill the other 2. All right, let's see what we got to do here. How much bigger of a hole do we need? Decently big, not too much bigger. Looks like a 1/2 inch hole is what we need. There we go. Perfect. So it's a 1/2 inch hole with a little wiggle. Thread this on all the way. Put it in. Spin it down. Oh. Okay, or you ruin it and then you gotta try again because you lifted it up out of the floor. So I did that on purpose, so you can get a nice example of how it works. See how that bent up like that? The floor should be pinched between that top lip and that bottom lip, but it's not, and it was totally done on purpose so you could see what it looks like. We'll just go ahead and do it right this time. Let's hope I don't mess up anymore because I don't have too many tries at this. But there you go. That's how that's supposed to work. Sucker's crimped down in there and not going anywhere. Keep it pushed down. Yeah, we'll make that work. Okay. All right, let's see if the seat sits in this thing. Whoop. Oh yeah. Look at that. Let me promise you I did not lose any weight. Oh, that's perfect. That is flawless. I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot, 400 pounds, and that gives me plenty of room to drive this bad boy. To move and get in and out, the only thing that would make this better if this was tilt. But now I get to keep my actual factory steering wheel. Now I'm excited. Not that I wasn't before. Went ahead and popped this one in, got it all bolted down and done. I didn't show it because, well, it's the exact same process as over there and you already saw me do that one. That's all bolted in. This is all bolted in. I'm now going to put the wheels and tires on it and get this thing outside the door. cut off the video. Figure you see enough power washing. Got the back all cleaned up. Inside is cleaned up way more. Side of the truck finally has all the mold off of it. Looks pretty good. Tires, wheels look good. Heck, even the roof is all cleaned off of it. So. Well guys, this is where we are going to end this one off. In this one we got new tires on the truck. We have redone the interior to where the truck actually functions. It has up, down, PTO engages, seats that I fit in, modified a steering column that I think is going to be pretty cool for future stuff with these trucks because that just changes everything for me to be able to get in these. The truck is cleaned up as good as we're going to do for it being a functional truck to go tow stuff with. And the next one, we're going to get the doors, get the hinges fixed up, put a clutch in it, and see if we can actually get some electrical working in this. Because right now I have no lights, tail lights, nothing on this. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everything. Go get some merch, really helps a lot. Hats, t-shirts, some stickers at jcsprojectsmerch.com. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.